franktalks.com.
Dating dilemmas tonight on the program. Frank Kermit joins me in studio as he does the last Wednesday. Is it the last Wednesday? Yes, the last Wednesday of every month, talking about dating and answering your dating questions. So here's one, which is very interesting. Texter writes, should I mention in my profile that I'm visually impaired? It seems that when I mention it, people do not contact me. And when I don't mention it and wait for initial chat and I mention it later, people stop writing. Any suggestions?
Okay, yes, you should mention it, but don't use the words visually impaired. Tell me what you can do. Okay, don't just simply say visually impaired, because people don't know what that means, and that's what's scary about it.
Okay.
Okay, tell me all the things you can do. Tell me the things you can't do. Just give me an idea of what a date with you would be like. So if you can describe that, people will understand where you may have some limitations and where you're completely okay and where it's just not going to be a hindrance. So let's say you're really visually impaired. Something you might want to say is, well, one thing I can guarantee you that when we go out on a date, I certainly won't judge you for the way you look. I'm really open-minded and go on that line of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
The argument of, well, if I leave it out, I still get to meet people. But if the thing you're leaving out is what is going to deter people later on, even getting into that ongoing discussion back and forth, it just makes it more hurtful.
It's also not honest. It's like telling people, how many times have we seen where we don't say anything about the way we look or anything. We hope that the person will fall in love with the person, not the look of the person, but then they meet and it's a completely, they were not told, maybe they were very overweight, or maybe they were handicapped, or maybe something significant about them that they purposely did not say in hopes that it won't matter.
I've seen people do that, even admitting whether or not they have children.
Oh, that too. Like, that's a big one.
Very big. It's not something you're going to be able to hide later on. My advice...
So anything that you can't hide, that you can't keep hiding, should be said.
I will go a step further. Anything that you think that people would not want to date you for, mention it in your profile. The more honest and to the point you are, while still being positive.
Right.
Yes, you may have something working against you. Flip it over. Turn to the positive of it. And as long as you stay positive about it and you can still paint a picture of what that first date with you is going to be like. Granted, you may not get 50 or 60 people knocking on your door, but you don't want 50 or 60 people because most of those 50 or 60 people knocking on your door initially are going to taper off. But if you get 5 or 6 people knocking on your door, you know that they're aware of whatever it is that has scared off most people, and you can take them as a more legitimate.
And it may take longer. I mean, the reality is it just may take longer.
Yes, absolutely. But most people want the instant results. And I think I wrote about this in the Suburban, on the Suburban.com recently, where it's all about attention, where people are trying to write their online profiles to get the most amount of attention, the most amount of views, the most amount of people contacting them. Sure, it's going to work to get you noticed, but it doesn't necessarily mean that being noticed equals getting love.
Or getting dates.
Right.
Need help with love, sex, dating, and relationship issues? Help from Frank Kermit, the best-selling author and Canada's most international relationship coach, is only a click away at franktalks.com. Coaching available in person, by phone, and by Skype. For singles, couples, and alternative lifestyles, franktalks.com.
What do you do when you feel like a fool? When your heart has been broken again? Pick up the phone or get onto Skype and talk on a private session. Yeah, get a little help from Frank Talks. Whoa, whoa, get by with a little help from Frank Talks. You gotta try a little help from Frank Talks. What do you do when your love goes away? Try coaching one-on-one. How do I sign up to turn things around? Just sign up at franktalks.com. Yeah, get by with help from Frank Talks. I get by with little help from Frank Talks. Time to try a little help from Frank Talks. Need help with love, sex, dating, or relationship issues? Help from Frank Kermit, the best-selling author and Canada's most international relationship coach, is only a click away at franktalks.com. 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 franktalks.com.